So today we're going to talk about energy, vibration, electricity, magnetism, and the subtle energy body. So we can all agree that we have a physical body, but what about the mind-body energy connection? How does this all fit in? How does the subtle energy system impact our physical reality? So you've heard of mind over matter. Well, I'm going to take this a little bit further to thoughts, emotions, and subtle energy systems, and how together they create shifts and changes and expansions in our world. Before we get too metaphysical, I want to remind you of this. Nobody believed that it was possible to run a 4-minute mile. No one had ever done it before, and therefore it was deemed physically impossible. In fact, experts said the human body was not even capable of it, and it was dangerous. But in 1954, Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute barrier. He had a time of 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. As a part of his training, he relentlessly visualized this achievement in order to create a sense of certainty in his mind and his body and his subtle energy body. So barely a year after Bannister's accomplishment, somebody else ran a 4-minute mile. And then somebody else did, and more runners. And now it's almost routine. Even high school students who are strong runners use this as a standard, right? People saw it could be done, and there was proof. They could see it, and suddenly they could imagine themselves doing it. It became possible because now people believed it could be true. Your thoughts and emotions change your subtle energy and change your reality. Thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic, and our subtle energy vibrates at frequencies. The scientific and medical community is amazing, and they understand so much about the physical body, but here's the thing. There's more to us than the physical body. We're made up of physical and the mind and the energy. And the subtle energy system, this energetic system, it vibrates at frequencies, and this is now something that science is recognizing. They have now recorded that the heart has a vibration 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. This is something that they can measure scientifically. But let me remind you that everything exists before science proves it to be so. So, I'm not going to get into the chakras and energy centers, but I do want you to see the important connection between the mind, the body, and the energetic system. Thoughts are electricity, emotions are magnetic. Our subtle energy vibrates at frequencies. As a culture, we're taught that self-care is indulgent and unnecessary. It's not. How can you garden and share your food with others if you're not feeding yourself first? You can't. You'd die, before you could help anybody else. I want you to emphasize how important it is to take care of yourself first. In order to be grounded, you need to be caring for yourself. And you need to be grounded to be in energetic alignment with yourself. And when you're grounded, you're seeing things from your own perspective, tapping into your higher self, your intuition, your inner wisdom. So the power of the mind and the energy and being grounded allows us to tap into our intuition and manage these physical situations. Because the physical actually starts with the vibrational frequency generated by the subtle energy, which is molded by our thoughts. You see how this works? The importance of self-love, self-focus, and creating your own reality starts with the mind and the brain, and thoughts and electricities ignite the fire. The emotions are magnetic, which draws it into our physical world, that which we feel or we manifest. So thoughts are electricity, emotions are magnetic, our subtle energy vibrates at frequencies. I'm going to repeat this a few times. Take a deep breath. That was all pretty deep. So the aura edge. If you hold your arms out, all of this inside you is your play, your theater. On the other side is other people's theater. When we operate and create in our world at the very edge of our auras, we're receiving everything out there, and everything out there begins to dictate our thoughts and our feelings. And when we continue to create within these boundaries and rules of that which is outside of us, right, we create more of the same. The 4-minute mile is impossible, right? Wrong. In order to live the life that's aligned with our true self, our core, our desires, and led by our intuition and our higher self, we need to live within here, within ourselves. And we need to think beyond what is currently in the reality of ourselves, what's currently in the reality of other people's theaters. So you just think, visualize, and imagine to drive your thoughts, electricity, to shift the feelings and emotions, the magnet, Because thoughts are electricity, emotions are magnetic, and our subtle energy vibrates at frequencies. Think of how you want your reality to be, and then create the emotions and the feelings behind that reality as if you were living it today. So when we live in this space in ourselves and not in the space at the edge of the aura, so influenced by their reality, we're grounded and we're rooted. And we're grounded and rooted in our ideal reality. We begin to perceive our world through that lens, through our own perspective. This doesn't mean that we're isolated from other people's realities or the rules of society at large. It simply means you're driving your life from within. You're driving the big and little choices with the intention of living your own chosen reality. It becomes the makeup of all of the big and the little movements that create your path. You're living from the inside out. And when we are able to let go of other people's perceptions, expectations, views and perspectives and opinions and rules, we're able to drive our own course, navigate our course using our soul as our compass. And when we operate from that perspective, we can respond in more calm and soulful ways in situations. We can take a moment to tap into our inner wisdom when we need to make a split-second decision, and we have that inner guidance. That information, it's going to be coming from a place of calm, your intuition, and not from a place of fear or anger or resentment or guilt, because when the underlying emotion is fear or guilt, you're not tapping into your inner wisdom, you're reacting, and you're accessing patterns and assumptions and other people's theater. So thoughts are electricity, emotions are magnetic, our subtle energy vibrates at frequencies. Because emotions are magnetic, you can be sure that you'll be attracting more of the same, more fear, more anger, more guilt, or more joy, more happiness, more freedom, more expansion. So get your thoughts and emotions in line, your subtle energy responds, and you can access your intuition easier. This all takes practice. We as a culture, we operate from the outside in. Magazines tell us how to look. Parents, professors, bosses, all have their own opinions, and they sometimes weigh more than our own. Hasn't it been done? No. Science hasn't proven it? Can't be true. Spoiler alert, everything exists before science proves it to be so. And so we all develop these patterns, pathways, and habits, and they are ingrained in our brains. This is where neuroplasticity comes in. I'm going to leave that in there because that's just damn funny. This is where neuroplasticity comes in. You can check out the video below. When we can rewire the brain, and it starts with thought, it's supported by emotions. So let's talk more about the subtle energetic system. We all vibrate at our own frequency. High frequency, we feel good. Low frequency, we feel bad. We can use our thoughts to drive that frequency. Think of it this way. Every time you have a thought, it's like dropping a pebble into calm water. The ripple gently spreads out. A different thought, another pebble over there. Another ripple, maybe it bounces into the first. Repeat the same thought, and you're dropping pebbles into the same spot. So more thoughts, more pebbles, more ripples, and so on and so on and so on, until you have created a current. You're reinforcing that current. And that current, if continually fed, creates a river, and it's suddenly leaves and twigs are being pulled into that current. This is the law of attraction. Like attracts like. That's the frequency that you have created, and you're attracting the same back to you. So set your frequency high. Create your own reality. Live it like it's happening now. Focus on what you want to the complete and total exclusion of what you don't want. If you're feeling broke, if you're focusing on I'm broke, you're going to stay in that feeling of broke. But if instead you say, I want financial freedom, then that shifts the entire feeling of the statement, doesn't it? It shifts the vibe, the vibration. So now compound your vibrational response by generating these feelings that align with your goal. See yourself depositing money in your account. See yourself traveling with freedom. Feel it. Repeat. So focus on what you want to the exclusion of what you don't want. Let me know if you have any questions about that. So we've talked about energy, vibration, electricity, magnetism, and the subtle energy body. Your homework is to journal. Journal 5 things that you want to shift in your life, okay? And then pick one to focus on over the next week. Flesh it out. What is it? how do you want to think about it? Meaning, how do you or how will you think about it to create this uplifting vibe? How will having this make you feel? Then meditate on this every day for 5 minutes. You can do this. Make your own statement 5 times. Own it, feel it, and then lean into it during your meditation. Begin your meditation with this visualization of how life will be with this thing in your life. Okay, now check the links below and get started.